Holy, holy, holy. NBA season is here, man. Finally. We haven't got a chance to talk about it in depth. We've been talking a whole lot about NFL, and we think opportunities, all of that. Plenty of good stuff going on during the NFL season that we want to make sure we stay up on top of, and appreciate everybody that's been tuning into all of that. Plenty of episodes we just dropped before you guys tune into this one. Go ahead and check those out. And if you tune in now, continue to like, rate, subscribe, comment, share to the show, and all of that. But we're here, excited to talk about NBA basketball and what's going on across the league. A lot of fun things here. The day of the NBA in-season tournament, we're here talking on. Excited to see how this thing gets underway. Looking forward to all going to be going on across the league, and just happy to finally be talking about basketball in depth. We've had a couple quick episodes. We talked about quickly about our Lakers and Clippers here in LA. But looking at the whole landscape of things, there definitely are some good stuff we want to get to. So starting here with the in-season tournament, Alec, there's been a lot of talk all offseason about this new thing that's getting started here today. Do you care for it now that we're here, or do you still look at it like another kind of just game on the schedule, as some players have expressed themselves?
Yeah, probably a little bit of both. I think I'm cautiously optimistic about what the in-season tournament can be. I think as we talked about in the past, like we were very hesitant with the play-in tournament and how that would work out, and
Correct.
whether it would be a good addition to the NBA we've known and loved for so many years. But I think it's been nothing but a bonus in terms of de-incentivizing the tanking that's been going on in previous years, as well as incentivizing teams to play hard and maybe have a shot when you got hit with injuries throughout the season and whatnot, and maybe weren't able to play your best ball for all 82, giving teams a fighting chance for the playoffs. And so I think with this in-season tournament, it's new, and like change is always something that is gonna make people uncomfortable a little bit. But I think because it is built into the season, like no player is gonna have to play any extra games beyond the two teams that play in the championship.
Right.
Ultimately, it's still about winning games. Like regardless of if there was an in-season tournament or not, you're
Right.
gonna want to win games to put W's in the win column for just your normal NBA standings for the regular season. So I think it's ultimately going to be a matter of if the players show that they care or have a heightened level of care about it, as far as if the fans are going to buy in completely too. So that's what I'm most interested to see, is just how the players respond to it and how they feel about it.
I agree. Very excited to see, or somewhat excited to see how things. I've been tuned into the season already as is, and we've been watching either way. We've joked for a few years now that the season doesn't really start till Christmas, anyways. So now having a reason to watch early on in the year, beyond just our excitement for basketball, definitely will be a plus for those that are more casual than even we are. So yeah, excited to see the reaction to it all, and we'll see what adjustments are made as we go along this process. This first year, I guess I'll put these rules to start. They have just first off, just the dates, of course. The group play starts today. That goes to the 28th. Then they have the quarterfinals on the 4th and 5th, semifinals on the 7th, and the finals are done by the 9th. So as I kind of said about the season not starting until Christmas, they're literally trying to target that beginning of the season and trying to make sure folks are tuned in and find more reason to watch. With that as well, folks are trying to figure out what is what with the tournament and trying to figure out how the rules work for this. And you asked me about scheduling. I couldn't quite give you a straight answer about it all.
Yeah,
I went on the site. Now I should say, maybe I should not. It's NBA Betting Online is a site that I found. I don't know if that's
sure.
a good thing or not, but they had the rules all laid out pretty direct. And we don't got to go through all of it, but I guess I'll target just in regards to the schedule I wanted to find. Go here, knockout rounds. Knockout rounds will be single elimination round games for the 8 teams that proceed from group play, commencing with the quarterfinals on December 4th and 5th. As we said, teams who win will advance to the neutral site semifinals on December 7th, followed the championship on December 9th. For all intents, games played in the first and second rounds of the knockout rounds will count as regular season games. The championship will not be counted as regular season game. And it won't count as regular season games. So I guess only games that change is that regular season game you're asking about. how they schedule it and all. I guess they already kind of have things fitted into the schedule to adjust as need be, and we'll make that work. So yeah, just any thoughts on how they have this rules laid out?
Yeah, it's still just like a little bit confusing to me how it works once they get beyond the group play stage. Just how the games are scheduled between those knockout in those knockout rounds. 'Cause
Mhm.
it was saying something like the 6 teams that win their group advance to the knockout round, and then as well as 2 wild card teams. So
Correct.
8 teams in total, but like they already have games scheduled, I presume, for the regular season. So I guess the teams that didn't make it, those games just don't count anymore. But like, what if a team that did advance is playing a team that didn't advance? That's what I'm a little bit confused on how that part is going to work. But I'm sure it'll make more sense as the games play out, and they'll have to be doing a lot of explaining on each of the broadcasts for sure on what's going
Um,
on. But yeah,
Quarterfinal games in each conference will be hosted by the 2 teams with the best record in group play, and the wild card team will be hosted by the team with the best record in group play games. If 2 or more teams are tied for the highest seed in the conference, they'll be broken by the same tiebreaker protocol mentioned above. The 22 teams who did not qualify for knockout rounds will play 2 regular season games on days when no NBA in-season tournament games are scheduled. The match for these games will be determined by a system based on the group play standings in each conference. 2 of the 22 games will be cross-conference because each conference will have an odd number of teams who will need to progress to the quarterfinals. So the travel constraints, these cross-conference games will be organized between the bottom finishing teams in the group play round, and each team will play at most one of its 2 cross-conference games. The remaining 20 games will be played inside conference between clubs that are ordinarily slated to play each other 3 times throughout the season. So they have it laid out some kind of way. I read
yeah,
it
that was so
before.
confusing, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I know
still don't quite get it, but they seem to have it. They have a system figured out, and
for
we'll just have to
sure.
play along
Yeah,
with that. So yeah, excited to see how that works out. Looking forward to most of it. The one thing I'm not looking forward to, oh my lord, these damn courts, bro. What did we? Wow, it was a good idea at first. Like I kind of see what they were going for, but
yeah,
it seems a lot like they just took literally they took the same layout. They went on Photoshop, made a little layout with these courts on there, and then just changed the colors on all of them. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna kill. They're gonna love this. But I thought this was more of like a fun social media kind of design thing. But their courts literally look like this. Like
mhm,
the Bulls court will be red like this when they play.
yeah.
There was another one that was real bad. What was it?
It was the one that
Uh,
we saw the actual picture of.
yeah, I couldn't find that one again to pull it up.
It was like
The
all blue.
Pelicans is gonna be purple. Like this,
Oh yeah,
having
yeah.
the purple court is gonna be a strain for folks' eyes. In person, I'm sure it's already gonna be a strain enough, but on TV, I'm sure it's gonna be even more of a mess. So we'll see how that plays out. Are you a fan of these courts, any of these courts, or you think that they kind of swung and missed with this idea?
Some of them. I mean, like, I like the vibrant color. It just I'm curious to see like what it will look like on TV, like whether it would be
Mhm.
too distracting because like there aren't really too many courts I can think of just in general that I've seen like on screen that look too distracting beyond one that pops into my mind is Oregon's court, like
Oregon did
Oregon
too much.
University. Yeah.
The Nets kind of had a panel type layout kind
At
of
one point,
design at
yeah.
one point where they went away from that. But to
Right.
have a whole bright purple and light and blue court is going to be a
Yeah.
mess for a little while. So luckily, it's only twice a month they said for the games, and if they lose,
Right.
I don't know if they're going to even use it anymore after that. I guess, but yeah,
Right.
for those first games, it's going to be a lot of eyesore for many folks. So
Yeah. Some of them
we'll
like
see.
they're cool designs. I'm wondering like the functionality of how they look like once the players are actually on the floor and playing on them. Or
Yeah.
and whether or not the players will care as far as the color of the courts and everything.
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
like,
They may not care too much, but for the fans, because we're from the fan side, up in
yeah,
the 1600 and all
exactly.
of that, watching us as we are, yeah, it could be a bit of a strain here for us. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. And yeah, hopefully it's not too much of a sore for us. With it as well, we haven't even got to our actual predictions yet, but however this thing plays out, they have the awards that already have been announced in that at the conclusion of the tournament, the NBA will name the most valuable player at the end-of-season tournament and the all-tournament team, which will be cool to see how that plays. Also, a prize pool will be allocated to the players on the teams that participate in the knockout round. So they're going to get a nice little bag for all the players that make it through and all of that. And that should add a little bit more incentive to it. Should they add anything else to it? You think there should be something else to help up the stakes, or you think this will be enough to get guys going for the cup?
I think like we were talking about off air that reward as far as the $500,000 that each player is going to get from winning this in-season tournament, I think will matter to the players like that aren't max guys. Because I mean, like we can laugh it off because like they make millions, but $500,000 is still going to be $500,000, and it's a $500,000 that you don't have to do a bunch of extra endorsements or whatever for. It's just like built into the regular season, the games that you usually play. So
real quick, something else that always comes to mind, people always gloss over it. We see the numbers and it always seems big. A lot of those times, those numbers, as much as they still are big, they often get cut down because there's taxes and all kinds of other stuff.
True.
So folks always look at the number like, oh yeah, they're getting all paid all these millions and millions. Like they're not sitting on every dollar you see being reported. Like a lot of that is automatically being going allocated to other places. So having an extra $500K, however that may be, even if it actually does end up being 300 or whatever in reality, surely for those other guys who aren't the top dollar type guys will be a plus. So that should help them.
That's a few game checks for some guys. Like some guys that's maybe just one check, but some guys that's like several. So
So it's interesting to see how that plays. Folks on social media have been throwing out ideas in regards to other alternatives to help up the stakes. I saw one person specifically, and I forgot their name. My apologies, but threw out the idea of whoever wins the how did they have it? They said whoever wins the tournament, the in-season tournament, should get a guaranteed play-in spot. Do you agree with that kind of take, or do you think there should be something else, another alternative to that instead?
No, I don't think a guaranteed play-in spot. I think the play-in tournament, how it's set already, has worked perfectly to this point, and I don't really think there's a need to change that or add another element to that. Like you already have given another not a 9 and 10 seed a chance to get into the playoffs. Like I don't see needing to add a third team now to. I think you had an idea.
Yeah, I didn't get to see their full clip. They posted this clip on social media and they left it at that. I didn't get to see the full explanation. So people had thoughts like, okay, what if the team already makes the playoffs? Like, what's even the point of them even? I didn't get a chance to see what all the other to add on to it. But it was an interesting concept, an idea that I had to go with that. While a playoff spot might not be the right route. Let's say you win the tournament and all of a sudden you're guaranteed a lottery pick. Now you have a little bit more reason to play. So the lottery is 14 picks, the top 14 picks in the draft. If you're locked in and you're guaranteed the number 13 spot, that could give some teams that maybe are bottom of the barrel or already seem to be kind of in the tanking range, reason to play a little bit harder. I'm sure managers and all the GMs are going to be pushing, hey guys, let's go make sure we get this. Make sure we get a lottery spot. Or for a team that already supposed to be good, the Lakers, let's say we're supposed to be a championship squad, we can still be a championship squad, and also if we win this tournament too,
still get a lottery
top 13 pick. So that could be a very interesting thing for a team that's at the bottom of the league as well. If they somehow win this tournament and then fall off after that, you could fall as low as 13, but you can't go beyond that. Obviously, there's only 14 picks, so 13 would be the end anyways. But to be locked, to know you have a spot locked in already after winning the tournament could be a plus for a lot of folks. So that was an idea that I had that came to mind after seeing their video. What do you think about the in-season tournament winner being awarded a guaranteed lottery pick for their victory?
Yeah, I like that idea a lot. Like you said, it definitely incentivizes the organizations and GMs, front offices to want their team to compete for that in-season tournament title, whereas they might be more focused on the end goal still of just winning the NBA championship. I still think because it is built into the regular season that like teams are still going to care because they still want to win games regardless.
Of course.
But yeah, I think it does add a heightened element of competition if you are competing for another like tangible advantage on the rest of the league. And I think when you add that competitive advantage element, that's definitely going to incentivize teams to want to push harder for it. So yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, so we'll put this out and see what folks have to say to it. But that's when that came to mind that I thought would be a very interesting thing. Obviously, like I think I already said it, but if you're a team that is already wins this somehow, but then falls in the lottery, and you get into the lottery, you can get higher than your 13th pick that's already guaranteed. So if you end up in the lottery and the ball comes out and you end up with the number one pick, you'll keep your number one pick, and the 13th spot will go to somebody else. But as things fall and somehow you keep falling down the line, if you get to 13 or 14, your pick would be set in that. It could be another number. That was 13 just came to mind for a lottery. Y'all could throw out some of their ideas for what number would be better in that scenario. But that seemed like it was a good one, and we can adjust that as need be as things go along. But either way, very excited for NC's tournament. Looking forward to also on the way. Excited for the stakes as is. We tuned in tonight for all of it. The last thing is the most important thing. We're actually here for it and talking about what's going to be going on. As you look at the landscape of the league right now, Alec, how you think this tournament is going to play out? Who you picking? We'll go first off. We'll go by group, and then we'll pick our winners from there. So starting in the West with West Group A, who you think will be victorious out of that one?
I mean, it has to be between the Lakers and the Suns. I feel more confident in the Lakers right now. We'll talk about the Suns in a minute here, but sure. I would say the Lakers in West A right now.
I agree with that. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer of a margin between a lot of these teams before the season, but it seems like right now it's Lakers and then the rest at the moment. So I'm going with the Lakers in that one as well. Going to West Group B, we got the Nuggets, Clippers, Pelicans, Mavs, and Rockets. Yeah. That one might be a lot. It's going to be a lot.
The biggest dogfight. Yeah.
Who you think makes it out of that one?
Yeah, I would still give the advantage to the Nuggets, but man, I mean, the Mavs are playing really well. Pelicans are playing really well. Clippers are loaded.
I'll talk about them also.
Yeah, so I would give the Nuggets the nod there, but yeah, any of those four are good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dogfight for that group for sure. Usually the Nuggets seems like it makes the most sense. I'll actually go with the Clippers in our LA squad here and say that with James Harden in the mix and how that'll be their first ring. It's gonna be it'll be plenty of jokes. I even say championship yet, but just having out this group will surely be enough jokes as is. And yeah, excited to see how that could play out. But yeah, that's the hard part, as we already kind of alluded to. There's gonna be a lot of folks that if you win, it's going to be a lot of clowning.
A lot of jokes.
If the wrong team wins, it's going to be a lot. Like if you're the Lakers, Clippers, Warriors, Celtics, Sixers, maybe. I think that group, if any of those group win, it's going to be clowning all day long. Anybody else to win, you'll get your respect. But any of those five, it's going to be a glorious day on social media. So we'll see how that plays out. Now going to Group C, how you think that plays out in the West there with the Kings, Warriors, Timberwolves, Thunder, and Spurs?
That's another really good group as far as like not a whole lot of separation. The Warriors are the best right now, but Wemby's looking nice and OKC's looking nice, and so. Screw it. Let's say Wemby. We'll go Spurs.
I'm with you. I like rolling with Wemby. He definitely has been very impressive, and we'll have much more in-depth talk to have with him in a bit. I would go with the Kings in reality, but with the Aaron being hobbled right now, though they say he's going to be returning sooner than later, luckily, I don't think the Kings will do it. So if it comes down to, if it comes down to the Warriors, Wolves, or Thunder, in that type of scenario, I could see low-key the Thunder stealing that. The Thunder have stepped up this year. Looks like they've been a little bit impressive. You talked about Chet. He may not be doing enough to get past Wemby
not if Wemby's getting going for 40 balls.
Cooking, so that's tough. So it is what it is. But in regards to the better team, he may have the better team right now. And what SGA and Gideon, those guys are doing, could put up in this type of setting a valiant effort into the squads to at least make it out of this round. So I'm gonna take an underdog slightly and go with the Thunder in that group, and we'll see how that plays out in Group C. Going to the East Group A, Sixers, Cavs, Hawks, Pacers, Pistons. How you have that one going?
Interesting. I probably would go Sixers.
Yeah.
They still have an MVP there, so
right.
Yeah, I'd probably go Sixers.
They have pieces there that want to be there now and want to contribute. Robert Covington and posting, even though you can say what you want about him at this point in his career, he's been, I'm happy to be back in the place where I started and happy to be reunited with Joel and all kinds of stuff. The guys that got traded in the Harden trade seem like they're going to want to go in and play their role to the best of their ability. And then having Maxey stepping up, and he's averaging 30 right now, the season alongside Joel. Those pieces definitely will play up a valiant effort. So I think they can make it out of this group. I'll talk more about the Pacers, I'll talk more about the Pistons a little bit later on. I'll talk more about the Hawks, actually, who have been a little bit impressive to start the season as well later on too. So it's going to be a dogfight But yeah, I think the Sixers should make it out alive in Group A in the East there. Going to Group B, the Bucks, Knicks, Heat, Wizards, and the Hornets. How's that one go?
Yeah, I think they got the two worst teams in the East in this one with
Correct.
the Wizards and the Hornets. But
Correct.
yeah, I mean the Bucks have been struggling a bit. I think Miami tends to cruise a bit, but
Yeah.
I still trust like the Bucks and Dame and Giannis over the Knicks or the Heat at this point. So I'm gonna go with Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think they could turn on better than anybody else in this group. Obviously, while the Bucks are going through their growing pains right now, just trying to get those two under in chemistry and all of that built up. I think they can against that group make sure they get the job done. So we're going with the Bucks in that one, and then lastly, Group C in the East: Celtics, Nets, Raptors, Bulls, and Magic. Is there any way somebody beats the Celtics in that? Or you think the Celtics will clear?
That's the question. That's the question because Boston looks like the best team in the league right now. So, would they just dog the Pacers out by 50 points or whatever the other day? That was rough. Short answer, no. I don't think any of these teams do. The Magic probably give them the best shot based off how they're playing right now, but yeah, the Nets don't seem to have enough firepower. Raptors just kind of middling right now, and Bulls seem like they need a rebuild. So I think Boston has a pretty solid, stronghold on this.
Yeah. So I'll run with you in that. I think it's going to be fun. I will say the Raptors could put up a valiant effort, as we've seen guys on that squad kind of start to step up a little bit. But clearly there's a level comparison to the Celtics they have yet to reach yet. So we'll see how all that plays. I'm sure they're going to be a fun start to the group. To the NCAA tournament. You want to pick a winner out of it all right now, too? You want to give your early just a prediction for who wins it all right now, or you want to just go with that? We'll come back week by week with reaction.
I probably would say the Celtics, not only because like they look like the best team in the league to me right now, but because like if history repeats itself, they've been like a pretty dominant team to start seasons for a while, like for the last few seasons.
Yeah.
And I think that trend continues, even with them having to work out chemistry and whatever. I think this team is pretty deep and pretty battle tested already. So I would probably say the Celtics. And I'm trying to think of like a second pick, maybe like someone from out west, maybe. I don't know. Maybe like the Pelicans. Like they have good starts to seasons, but Zion tends to get hurt, so maybe like the Pels or something.
Like I said, for content's sake, a Celtics Clippers tournament or a championship game would be funny. Celtics Lakers would be great, of course. So we can get some type of that. We may actually, and to that point, who knows when we're ever going to get that Lakers Clippers playoff series we always wanted. We could get Lakers Clippers tournament game though, so that could be fun as well. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I think Celtics versus one of them West squads, as you pointed out as well, will be it. Can't give them the win. I'll say the West will find a way to beat them in the end, just for rivalry's sake. But definitely see what they have there.
It's possible that the two final teams could be from the same conference too, right? Like it doesn't have to be an East versus West, does it? Do you know?
Oh, I thought it was, but
does it? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm genuinely asking. So.
I think I already read this. The matches for these games will be determined using a system based on group play. 2 of the 22 games will be cross-conference because each conference will have an odd number of teams who will need to regress to the quarterfinals. Each team will play the most. The 4 teams eliminated in the quarterfinals play a regular season game on Friday, December 8th against a Cubs in the same conference. Maybe I missed it in here, but I would think that they would have to be from different conferences. That could be interesting, though, if they can be from the same. But yeah, I don't know. But we'll see how that plays out. But going just based on conference for right now and how it plays out, like I said, Celtics I think make it out of the East, and then one of the Clippers, Lakers, or Nuggets will make it out of the West, and it'll be a fun day on social media for us all. So we'll see how I play. We'll get more rules, and obviously we'll be back each week to talk more about it as things play along. We'll get a better understanding of it. But for now, definitely a good start, and excited for what's to come.